Hi guys, welcome to the Book Readers Club, and today is our first video where we are going to upload the first chapter about our first book. It's called the Ikigai. It's the international bestseller. It's discovering the Japanese secret to a long and happy life. What it does is the people of Japan believe that everyone has an Ikigai, a reason to jump out of bed each morning. Inspiring and confronting, this book will give you the life changing tools to uncover your personal ikigai. It will show you how to leave urgency behind, find your purpose, nurture friendships, and throw yourself into your passions. Let's start with our first book, Bring Meaning and Joy to Your Everyday with Ikigai. First of all, let's get to know about the authors. This is a Japanese secret to a long and happy life. It's written by Hector Garcia and Franscesc Miralles from Japan and translated by Heather Clary. Now let's move into the first prologue. Ikigai, a mysterious word. Let's go through this first chapter as a prologue. This book first came into being on a rainy night in Tokyo when its authors sat down together for the first time in one of the city's tiny bars. We had read each other's work but had never met, thanks to the thousands of miles that separate Barcelona from the capital of Japan. Then a mutual acquaintance put us in touch, launching a friendship that led to this project and seems destined to last a lifetime. The next time we got together a year later, we strolled through a park in downtown Tokyo and ended up talking about trends in Western psychology, specifically logotherapy, which helps people find their purpose in life. We remarked that Viktor Frankl's logotherapy had gone out of fashion among practicing therapists who favored other school of psychology. Though people still search for the meaning in what they do and how they live, we ask ourselves things like, what is the meaning of my life? Is the point just to live longer, or should I seek a higher purpose? Why do some people know what they want and have passion for life while others languish in confusion? At some point in our conversation, the mysterious word ikigai came up. This Japanese concept, which translates roughly as the happiness of always being busy, is like a logotherapy, but it goes a step beyond. It also seems to be one way of explaining the extraordinary longevity of Japanese, especially on the island of Okinawa, where there are 24.55 people over age of 100 for every 100,000 inhabitants, far more than the global average. Those who study why the inhabitants of this island in the south of Japan live longer than people anywhere else in the world believe that one of the keys, in addition to the healthy full diet and simple life in the outdoors, green tea and the subtropical climate, its average temperature is like that of Hawaii, is that the ikigai that shaped their lives. While researching this concept, we discovered that not a single book in the fields of psychology or personal development is dedicated to bringing this psychology to the West. Is Ikigai the reason there are more centenarians in Okinawa than anywhere else? How does it inspire people to stay active until the very end? What is the secret to a long and happy life? As we explore the matter further, we discover that one place in particular, Ogimi, a rural town on the north end of the island with a population of 3,000, boasts the highest life expectancy in the world, a fact that has earned its nickname the Village of Longevity. Okinawa is where most of Japan's shikuwasa, a lime-like fruit that packs an extraordinary antioxidant punch, comes from. Could that be Okimi's secret to long life? Or is it the purity of the water used to brew in its morning tea? We decided to go study the secrets of Japanese centenarians in person. After a year of preliminary research, we arrived in the village where residents speak an ancient dialect and practice an animist religion that features long haired, forest spirits called Bunagaya. With our cameras and recording devices in hand, as soon as we arrived, we could sense the incredible friendliness of its residents, who laughed and joked incessantly amid lush green hills fed by crystalline waters. As we conducted our interviews with the eldest residents of the town, we realized that something far more powerful than just these natural resources was at work. An uncommon joy flows from its inhabitants and guides them through the long and pleasurable journey of their lives. Again, the mysterious Ikigai. But what is it exactly? How do you get it? It never ceased to surprise us that the heaven of nearly eternal life was located precisely in Okinawa, where 200,000 innocent lives were lost at the end of World War II. Rather than harbor animosity toward outsiders, however, Okinawans live by the principle of Ichariba Chode, a local expression that means treat everyone like a brother, even if you have never met them before. It turns out that one of the secrets to happiness of Ogimi's resident is feeling like part of a community. From an early age, they practice Yuimaru or teamwork, and so are used to helping one another. Nurturing friendships, eating light, getting enough rest, and doing regular moderate exercise are all part of the equation of good health. But at the heart of joy de Verve that inspires these centenarians to keep celebrating birthdays and cherishing each new day is their Ikigai. The purpose of this book is to bring the secret of Japan's sanitarians to you and give you the tools to find your own Ikigai. Because those who discover their Ikigai have everything they need for a long and joyful journey through life. Happy travels! Welcome to the first chapter of Ikigai. Today we are going to talk about the art of staying young while growing old. Let's see what the author has to say about it. What is your reason for being? According to the Japanese, everyone has an ikigai, what a French philosopher might call raison d'etre. Some people have found their ikigai while others are still looking, though they carry it within them. Our ikigai is hidden deep inside each of us, and finding it requires a patient search. According to those born on Okinawa, the island with the most sanitarians in the world, our ikigai is the reason we get up every morning. There's a chart which explains how the circle of ikigai works. I'm going to put it on screen here for you. Now let's move on. Whatever you do, don't retire. Having a clearly defined ikigai brings satisfaction, happiness, and meaning to our lives. The purpose of this book is to help you find yours and to share insights from Japanese philosophy on the lasting health of body, mind, and spirit. One surprising thing you notice living in Japan is how active people remain after they retire. In fact, many Japanese people never really retire. They keep doing what they love for as long as their health allows. There is, in fact, no word in Japanese that means retire in the sense of leaving the workforce for good, as in English. According to Dan Bittner, a National Geographic reporter who knows the country very well, having a purpose in life is so important in Japanese culture that our idea of retirement simply doesn't exist there. The island of almost eternal youth. Certain longevity studies suggest that a strong sense of community and a clearly defined ikigai are just as important as the famously healthful Japanese diet, perhaps even more so. Recent medical studies of sanitarians from Okinawa and other so called blue zones, the geographic region where people live longest, provide a number of interesting facts about these extraordinary human beings. Not only do they live much longer than the rest of the world's population, they also suffer from fewer chronic illness such as cancer and heart disease, and inflammatory disorders are also less common. Many of these centenarians enjoy enviable lives, levels of vitality and health that would be unthinkable of people of advanced age elsewhere. Their blood tests reveal fewer free radicals, which are responsible for cellular aging, as a result of drinking tea and eating until their stomachs are only 80% full. Women experience more moderate symptoms during menopause, and both men and women maintain high levels of sexual hormones until much later in life. The rate of dementia is well below the global average. Okay, the characters behind Ikigai, as in Japanese language, combining two letters of Japanese, which I'm going to put it on screen, means life, with another couple of letters means to be worthwhile. This can be broken down into two characters, which means armor, that is number one, and to be the first. To head into battle, taking initiative as a leaders, and the next letter, which means beautiful or elegant. Let's continue. Though we will consider each of these findings over the course of the book, research clearly indicates that Okinawans' focus on Ikigai gives a sense of purpose to each and every day and plays an important role in their health and longevity. The five blue zones. Okinawa holds first place among the world's blue zones. In Okinawa, women in particular live longer and have fewer diseases than anywhere else in the world. The five regions identified and analyzed by Dan Buettner in his book The Blue Zones are Okinawa, Japan, especially the northern part of the island. The locals eat a diet rich in vegetables and tofu, typically served on small plates. In addition to their philosophy of Ikigai, the Moai, or close knit group of friends, we will go through in page number 15, plays an important role in their longevity. Sardinia, Italy, specifically the province of Nuoro and Ogliastra, locals on this island consume plenty of vegetables and one or two glasses of wine per day. As in Okinawa, the cohesive nature of this community is another factor directly related to longevity. Loma Linda, California. This is the third one. Researchers studied a group of Seventh-day Adventists who are among the longest living people in the US. The Nicoya Peninsula, Costa Rica. Locals remained remarkably active after 90. Many of the region's older residents have no problem getting up at 5:30 in the morning to work in the fields. The last one, the fifth one, is Ikaria, Greece. One of every three inhabitants of this island near the coast of Turkey is over 90 years old, compared to less than 1% of the population in the US. A fact that has earned it the nickname the Island of Long Life. The local street seems to be a lifestyle that dates back to 500 BC. In the following chapters, we will examine several factors that seems to be the key of longevity and are found across the blue zones, paying special attention to Okinawa and its so-called village of longevity. First, however, it is worth pointing out that three of these regions are islands where resources can be scarce and communities have to help one another. For many, helping others might be an ikigai strong enough to keep them alive. According to scientists who have studied the five blue zones, the key to longevity are diet, exercise, finding a purpose in life, an ikigai, and forming strong social ties. That is, having a broad circle of friends and good family relations. Members of these communities manage their time well in order to reduce stress, consume little meat or processed foods, and drink alcohol in moderation. They don't do strenuous exercise, but they do move every day, taking walks and working in their vegetable gardens. People in the blue zones would rather walk than drive. Gardening, which involves daily low intensity movement, is a practice almost all of them have in common. The 80% secret. One of the most common sayings in Japan is hara hachibu, which is repeated before or after eating and means something like fill your belly to 80%. Ancient wisdoms advise against eating until we are full. This is why Okinawans stop eating when they feel their stomach reach 80% of their capacity, rather than overeating and wearing down their bodies with long digestive process that accelerate cellular oxidation. Of course, there's no way to know objectively if your stomach is at 80% perfect person capacity. The lesson to learn from this saying is that we should stop eating when we are starting to feel full. The extra side dish, the snack we eat, when we know in our heart we don't really need it. The apple pie after lunch. All these will give us pleasures in the short term, but not having them will make us happier in the longer term. The way food is served is also very important. By presenting their meals on many small plates, the Japanese tends to eat less. A typical meal in a restaurant in Japan is served in 5 plates on a tray. 4 of them very small and the main dish slightly bigger. Having 5 plates in front of you makes it seems like you are going to eat a lot. But what happens most of the time is that you end up feeling slightly hungry. This is one of the reasons why Westerners in Japan typically lose weight and stay trim. Recent studies by nutritionists reveals that Okinawans consume a daily average of 1800 to 1900 calories compared to 2200 or 3300 in the US and have a body mass index between 18 and 22 compared to 26 or 27 in the US. The Okinawan diet is rich in tofu, sweet potatoes, fish at least 3 times per week, and vegetables roughly 11 ounces per day. In the chapter dedicated to nutrition, we will see which healthy antioxidant rich foods are included in this person. Let's talk about Moai, connected for life. It is a customary in Okinawa to form close bonds within local communities. A Moai is an informal group of people with common interests who look for one another. For many, serving the community becomes part of their Ikigai. The Moai has its origin in hard times, when farmers would get together to share best practice and help one another cope their meager harvest. Members of a Moai make a set monthly contribution to the group. These payments allow them to participate in meetings, dinners, games of Go and Shogi, is a Japanese chess, or whatever hobby they have in common. The funds collected by the group are used for activities, but if there is any money left over, one member, decided on a rotating basis, receives a set amount from the surplus. In this way, being part of a Moai helps maintain emotional and financial stability. If a member of Moai is in financial trouble, he or she can get an advance from the group saving. While the details of each Moai's accounting practices vary according to the group and its economic means, the feeling of belonging and support gives the individual a sense of security and helps increase life expectancy. Following this brief introduction to the topics covered in the book, we will look at a few cases of premature aging in modern life and then explore different factors related to Ikigai. Stay tuned for the next chapter. Bye.